I grew up with this picture of my grandparents in Rome, in front of the Trevi Fountain on their honeymoon in 1948. It's a beautiful picture. The glamour, the romance of the 1940s. I was definitely born in the wrong era. But the fountain, the setting, always interested me. And when I was about 12 years old, I visited the fountain myself. It is stunning. I remember it clearly. But I also left with 3 impressions that have influenced my life choices and why I do what I do today. The fountain is very important. It stands as a tangible reminder of a nation's history, of its identity. It is connected to people. It evokes the emotions, the experience of the place, the emotions of national pride. And there's a practical and at times unglamorous side to these beautiful places. They draw crowds, they require management, they require maintenance. Definitely born in the wrong era. I'm sure many of you know this, but the Trevi Fountain is the terminal point of an ancient aqueduct. It is a feature of a water delivery system. And that resonated for me, first because of the personal connection, but also it resonated with my own history, with my country, with Jordan. For one, Jordan falls in the domain of the Roman Empire. But for another, and that is a story we heard in our textbooks at school and has always stuck with me, when the Romans conquered Petra, they targeted the Nabataeans' water delivery system to bring the city under their control. And so the Nabataeans were an exceptional group of people. They were great water harvesters, engineers, architects, traders. They really were an exceptional people. And that feeling always evoked national pride for me. Anywhere in the world, mention Jordan, what do you get? Petra, I've always wanted to visit. And I've always felt a sense of pride in belonging to this civilization. But as I grew older, I realized that that pride, that privilege, comes with a responsibility. And so today and every day, I wake up and I prepare myself for a battle. Every single day, I fight to convince the government to enact tougher legislation to protect heritage sites, to implement UNESCO guidelines and conventions, to dedicate more funding, to reform governance, to depend a little bit on non-governmental organizations as partners in development. Every single day, I am out there trying to convince donors, private sector companies to invest in cultural heritage. There is a warrior and a lot of white hair underneath this polished exterior. But I do it because cultural heritage matters. It matters because it defines our national character. It underpins who we are, our very foundation, our every development output. It really is fundamental for creativity, innovation, diversity, social cohesion, economic prosperity, quality of life. It is the building block of our sustainable development. And yet, in 2015, when the global community came together to enact a set of global development goals, cultural heritage was relegated as 2 general targets under Goal 4 and Goal 11. The message conveyed was cultural heritage is important, but not all that important. Ironically, those who do understand the importance of cultural heritage are these guys. And Daesh are not the first or the only ones to engage in cultural cleansing. The Roman army did it. Throughout history, the destruction of our cultural heritage has been designed to erase our collective memory. It has been a tried and tested means of fostering discord, of exerting power and control. It is designed to create a vacuum of beliefs, of ideas, to be filled with a narrow and divisive narrative. Our cultural heritage is our counter-narrative. It is a narrative that is rooted in our history. It is the accumulation of thousands of years of global connections, of mutual understanding, of shared values. It is our human story. And so I have committed to telling this story to children and youth in public and private schools, in Petra and throughout Jordan. together with a team of incredible and dedicated cultural warriors known as the Petra National Trust, we have designed a program that is unique, that is innovative, it's engaging, and it's fun. And it was designed to really instill in the younger generation the importance of heritage preservation. But we saw other outcomes, no less important. Our participants, they started showing improved educational outcomes across the board. They were more engaged in their learning. They set more ambitious goals for themselves. They demonstrated more caring, more responsible behaviors towards their peers, towards the site, even towards animals in the site. So the story that we tell begins 10,000 years ago, and it spans many civilizations, religions, ways of life, traditions, each one a building block of what makes us, all of us, who we are today. We build a sense of identity that is inclusive and that is rooted in our cultural heritage. We instill pride in this identity, and that was very important for displaced populations when we did our programs in the north of Jordan. We build on the values that we inherit from our cultural heritage, whether it's in our relationships with each other, by respecting diversity, by celebrating differences, or in our relationships to public space, by respecting the integrity of sites, the health of our environment, the beauty of nature, or in our relationship to ourselves, by becoming more responsible citizens, by owning our development, by being creative problem solvers, by shaping our future. Cultural heritage is important for our prosperity. Even today, 65% of students starting school today, recent study findings show that they will go into jobs in the future that do not exist as of now. Well, clearly, we have to start doing things differently. And in my experience, the skills acquired through a culture-based approach to education are critical for meeting the needs of the future and its challenges. Cultural learning challenges embedded worldviews. It fosters innovation. It fosters entrepreneurialism. And there are opportunities to take advantage of today in the short term. If we consider that cultural tourism alone accounts for 40% of all tourism, that's 125 million jobs and 4.2% of global GDP. There are numerous opportunities to be taken advantage of in the cultural industries as well. And so when we bring cultural heritage to public schools, where the opportunities for such learning are very limited, what we are doing is building a new generation of young activists who are secure in their heritage, confident in their identity, problem solvers, engaged global citizens, deeply committed to preserving their cultural heritage. And this is what these people actually look like. Rakan and Bashar Zawaide, two very talented young men from the village of Dlaga in the Petra region, impoverished, village marginalized, outside the benefits of tourism development. Bashar found his passion for sculpting in the 5th grade through one of our programs. He started experimenting with simple tools, actually, kitchen utensils, forks and spoons, which did not endear us to his mother at all, but has since been mentored by an artist. He's now producing a line of sculptors, and his dream of being an artist is coming true in his own words. He's also helping us mentor other youth. Jumana Rawashfe. Jumana is from the village of Rajif, also in the Petra region, slightly larger than Dlaga, but still marginalized. Jumana started with us as a very shy 8-year-old, and I have been privileged to see this young lady blossom into beautiful, confident, assertive, wonderful, wonderful person. She got accepted into King's Academy in 2017, and secured a full scholarship. She credits her participation in our programs, her knowledge of her cultural heritage for changing her outlook and making her more ambitious. She now dreams of furthering her education, traveling the world, and coming back to her own community to start large projects that empower youth. And Youssef al-Falahat. Youssef participated in many of our workshops. I cannot tell you how impressive this young man is. He is now a youth leader in Ma'an. As a matter of fact, I was a guest speaker at a conference he organized earlier this year. He is also accepted to be a delegate at the United Nations Youth Assembly and is up for the Best Delegate Award. He believes that his education, his cultural heritage-based education, taught him the importance of leadership, of handling challenges, and in his words, that the sky has no limits. And so, when we protect our cultural heritage, we protect our identity. When we invest in our cultural heritage, we invest in our prosperity. And when we promote our cultural heritage, we promote our shared human values. I want you all to join me, to add your voice to mine, and to commit today and every day to make cultural heritage a focus of our sustainable development agenda. Thank you.